If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Got a comment the other day from a guy, and apparently he has watched a lot of our videos because he was commenting on videos that I had made probably back in July of last year, so 8 months ago. And he was talking about how little money we had spent back then. Actually, the other day I made a video where I discussed that we don't like to travel a lot. You know, we really slow our travel down and spend a lot of time in one area before we move on. And there's two reasons for that. One, I just don't like driving anymore. Look, when I was self-employed, I was a consultant, and I drove the Midwest constantly. You know, I just burned out on driving. But the other aspect of that is our budget. We budget $160 a month for gasoline. Quick equation, that's roughly 1,000 miles at $2.50. What we try to do is we try to pace ourselves out, so we only travel, 300, 400, 500 miles a month from one location to another location. Now, the reason we do that, you got to understand, when you get out to the National Forest, it's 50 miles to town regularly. You go to town one time, that's 100 miles. So there you go, one time plus our traveling. So we've traveled from one location or one state to another state, 500 miles. One time to town, there's 600 miles. Well, you figure you'd go to town about 4 times a month, to get water and restock everything. So that's 900 miles, 1,000 miles. So, we're right there in the ballpark of our $160 budget. Well, what this fellow was saying is that during the summer months, we saved, and I agree with him, we saved a ton of money. I was very impressed with ourselves. Our budget, grand total budget, is about $850 a month. And we try very hard to go under budget so we can take that extra income and put it towards our savings. Those 3 or 4 months, whatever it was, we only spent about $500. So we saved, let's say $300. He even gave us the benefit of the doubt and said it was $200. So, 2 times 4, there's $800 that we saved. So his suggestion is that we need to go out and have more fun with that money. He commended us a lot about how well we save money and our emergency fund, and how, I'm very dedicated to the emergency fund. I'm very dedicated to our budget. I understand what he's saying. A lot of people have said that, when you save money, you should go and have a good time. Well, there's just a lot of things. First of all, that's implying that we're not having a good time by going slow. So what we're doing, man, I think it's a blast. I'm absolutely having a great time all the time. We're in the National Forest with trees, and, we go down to the ocean regularly. And then we're going to go over to another National Forest here in a day or two. And we get to take these long, beautiful walks in Mother Nature. So I think there's a breakdown on what fun is. I can imagine what people think fun is, and that's fine. If that's the kind of fun you're wanting to have, I am not criticizing any kind of fun, but this is our fun. I've said many times, and anybody who's watched any of our videos for, a month or two, is going to know that we came out here because my work was killing me. So sitting out here and relaxing is saving my life. Carolyn and I are absolutely having a blast. So the fun part is, it's not necessary. We're already having fun. So, the $160 budget that we have for our gas money is being applied to our fun. But the other part of this is okay, now what do we do with that extra money? He said, I assume you put it in savings because you're so responsible, you put it in savings. Actually, we've put that money into our emergency fund. I don't think folks realize how many emergencies you run into out here. When you live in a house, your water heater breaks down once every 10, 15, 20 years. It's designed to last a long time. But living in your car isn't designed to be lived in. So things start to fall apart and break, and especially these RVs. These RVs, they're not designed to be lived in. And when you're living in it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, things are going to break. Water heaters are not designed in the RV to last 20 years. The refrigerator's not designed to last 20 years. But we ran in several emergencies. The first emergency we ran into was an expensive emergency. It was up there around $6,000. We went home to take care of Carolyn's daughter while she was sick. Well, no sooner did we get that emergency resolved and we got back onto our adventure, we come down to Florida, and I think it was 3 months later, someone burned down our camper. Now, look, I understand this whole insurance thing, and we've discussed this before, but insurance wasn't going to cover our pop-up camper. Pop-up camper we bought for $650. When we took it to the insurance agent and he asked us how much we paid for it, we said $650. He says, it's not worth to get insurance on it because it was a 1970 pop-up camper. So they covered if it broke loose from the truck and hit a car, they covered that. But my point is so anything that happened to the camper, we were responsible for. Well, even the contents in the camper wasn't going to be covered. We had to dish out that money to replace our camper. So we built the homemade camper. Granted, it was only $550, which came out of the emergency fund, but we also had to replace a lot of stuff. Our clothes, our generators, our Berkey water filter, all of it had to be replaced. So I would say we were up to $1,000 or $2,000. That happened in April. Well, in July, we actually started figuring out, oh, wow, we're saving money. We're not even coming close to our budget. I think it was very responsible to say, okay, I got to start replacing the money into the emergency fund. We put money into the emergency fund every month. So we only budget $850 to live on, and then extra money goes into the emergency fund and our savings account, which is a whole separate issue. The savings account is so we can replace our vehicle. Well, now, we had to spend another $200 on fixing the outside. We put this paneling out. So all these monies have to get put back. Otherwise, in the next emergency, you're not going to have any money. I am a member of the van groups on Facebook. I see people in the van groups on Facebook always asking for money. They always started a GoFundMe account and need help because they're stuck on the side of the road. I just don't have the ability to say, okay, I need money. And this is important about my mental health. I sleep very well at night knowing that I have money to save back in case something goes wrong. That way, when I come out to these national forests or out to the ocean, I can just sit down and relax and not think about a thing. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.